Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Are y'all nervous?
No.
Oh. This is Daniel Ibrahim and Justin Pelt from Esports. Daniel is a sophomore here at UST, majoring in business and minoring in esports. Justin is the assistant director and coach of esports here at UST. In this episode, we jump on the esports bandwagon and learn how our students are getting a coveted education in the gaming industry that is sought after nationwide. Daniel shares his experience of finding UST from his home in Southern California, and Justin explains why esports at UST is already so strong only in its first year. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to Max Studios and hit that bell icon so you'll get a notification every time we post. And check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Max Studios UST to stay in the loop and get a behind-the-scenes sneak peek at everything that we're working on. Now, let's jump into this episode of Bold with Daniel and Justin. Hi, I'm Isabel Garcia. I'm studying education at the University of St. Thomas in Houston, and I'm the host of Bold. Bold is a podcast that aims to inspire students to be your bold self through conversation with students and alumni. Hi guys, welcome back to Bold. My name is Isabel, your host, and today I have Daniel Ibrahim and Justin Pelt from Esports. Hey guys, welcome to Bold.
Hi.
Thanks, Isabel.
All right, guys. So let's just jump right into it. Like, what is esports?
So esports is basically a multiplayer online video game that is played competitively in as concise a way as possible.
Like, think of it as like we are like in our own athletic department, just dedicated towards video games, and the different teams are very similar to different sports the athletic department has, right? So they have like volleyball, baseball, basketball. We have League of Legends, Overwatch, Valorant.
Daniel, what do you play?
So I play Overwatch.
Daniel, what would you say to someone that doesn't really understand esports?
Esports can be broken down kind of in the same way that sports can be broken down, where you have like casual players, so think of like just playing on the weekends with your friends. Then you have people in amateur leagues, and then you have the pro leagues. And esports is basically in the same way, where you have, when you think of a gamer, you think of this top level where it's people who just play to blow off steam and just have fun. They don't really, not necessarily, they don't care if they win or lose, but you know, they're just there to have fun. Mm-hmm. That second level is where I am, or where a lot of the vast majority of competitors are, which is this kind of amateur level, which is now including the collegiate level. Mm-hmm. And then you have the Pro League, which is currently the Overwatch League.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Justin, what's your role in esports?
I work in tandem alongside Dr. Bina George, who is my boss, the Chief Innovation Officer here for UST. And basically the way we divvy up the work from a broad sort of viewpoint is she focuses on academics, where I focus more so on our competitive team, which involves Daniel and the Overwatch team, the League of Legends team, as well as our Valorant team that we're growing, as well as a couple of other teams that we might spin up here throughout the year with the students on campus. And then as well as working with our club officers, primarily George Fakus and Jamel Akhtar, our president and vice president respectively, on how we can grow our esports community on campus to allow basically a place for that is inclusive and allows for people who aren't necessarily, you know, at the moment talented enough to compete, but still have an interest and want to make friends in these sports, to allow them that space to do that. So that's what our club is dedicated towards.
Okay, cool. And Daniel, what's your role in esports?
In broader terms, like I'm an athlete. In specifics, I'm a esports competitor. And then even more specific, I play Overwatch and I compete in Overwatch.
And you only do Overwatch?
I only do Overwatch.
Okay, cool. That's super cool. And so, Daniel, how did you end up at UST? What's your story?
So yeah, I've been competing in multiple video games pretty much since I was little. Just entering like small tournaments for a game called Team Fortress 2. Some people might remember that name. It's pretty old. And basically, Overwatch came out 5 years ago, and I jumped with some of my TF2 friends, and we made a team in Overwatch. And so I've been competing pretty much the entire time that Overwatch has been out in release. And with that 5 years of experience, I do have, I wouldn't say somewhat of a following, but I do have a reputation and people in the competitive scene will recognize me. And so basically how I ended up at UST is that I took 2 gap years to pursue esports professionally. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. But at the end of my 2 gap years, I basically went on Twitter and I put out an advertisement. It was, I need a collegiate team to play for. This is what I've done. These are my accomplishments. Please let me know. And I got offers from, say, Kansas State, Ohio State, and 2 other schools from the Midwest that I can't remember the names of. Sorry, guys. And I just don't want to go to the Midwest.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry, Midwest.
Yeah.
But, I'm from LA and I just cannot see myself anywhere else but the city, basically. And so one of the offers was Justin.
Okay. And
Justin was like, come to UST. This is how much scholarship we can provide you. This is the city that we're located in. We're partnered with the Houston Outlaws, which is one of the Overwatch League teams. And I was a big seller, as well as the location. And, of course, I do research on all the schools. And, I saw UST had a nice campus size that, matched what I wanted in a college and decent class sizes as well. It seemed like a very inclusive community. And I was like, yeah, out of the 5 and 6 schools that reach out to me, this has just got to be the best by far. For a month or 2, I actually was coaching the Overwatch club team while school was still going. And it was fun. I got to meet him and kind of got to get a feel for, kind of gauge the interest in esports in a way, and kind of tell the kind of character that exists in the club itself. And I got a really good read on what they're about and how they present themselves. Because the way you present yourself online, which is the only way I knew them, really tells me a lot about you. And it's what are you, the kinds of words that you say and the kinds of comments that you make. And, they were just some great guys. And I was like, yeah, I'm even more sold. So yeah, that's how I got here.
That's awesome. So what is esports at UST? What's that like? What do y'all have going on?
That can be a really challenging thing because it's basically me coming in and implementing a culture and an idea, right? And so when I thought about it, and I also, this is not something I did by myself. It's something I communicated with Dr. George about, with Coach Todd Smith about. It got feedback from President Ludwig. And a lot of it kind of really depended on what the school wanted its identity to be, right? I was like, but if I can have it my way, I want to create a winning program. That's just who I am. I'm competitive in nature. And I made that very clear in my interview. I was a student athlete. I played football in college. I've competed my whole life. The only thing I really haven't truly competed in is esports, which is really funny. I'm just also too old now at this point. I'm not as good as these guys, but that's what I told them. I was like, if I had a choice and if you guys are willing to support it, I want to be as competitive as possible, at least from our competitive team, right? And so I said, well, what if we just, basically have 3 pillars that we can say the program is built on, which is competitiveness, community, and academics.
That's awesome. I love that. And so when you say academics, esports right now is a minor, correct?
So we have a minor that's been approved. Dr. George wants to have, I think, 4 here within the next 2 years that are approved, and all with different tracks. And I'm a big fan of that because I think academics and esports has, in certain scenarios, not been, I think, installed the correct way, or maybe the way that is most beneficial to the students. And my only feedback to her, since she's truly an academic guru, she was the former dean of the business school here, which is a very respected department here at UST. And all I said is I just want it to be practical, right? I don't want students to basically take these courses and basically for the course is just to say that they did something with esports. I think that means nothing. I'm a big proponent of, what you can put on a resume, what you can put on a portfolio is what's going to get you hired and get you jobs. And so that was the only thing that I told her I wanted to make sure we do. And I think Dr. George took that and had a really take it and ran with it in a great way, and is tying our minors in with current majors that we have, right? So for example, we have an esports minor in coaching, and we're trying to find ways that we can align that with like the psychology department for like sports psychology, and sort of have some of those classes sort of fit into that track.
I like that. That's awesome.
I really like talking to people and introducing them because, you know, Justin says like we are trying to be inclusive and we really do like including people in it. And the one pet peeve I have of mine is when I say, oh, I'm in esports and like, would you like to know more about it? Or they ask about it. They go, oh, so you're a gamer. And, you know, not to hate on the term gamer, but I think gamer has a very negative connotation currently. Like if you close your eyes and you imagine a gamer, it's probably not like a good picture. So I think if you want to refer to me or anyone else in the collegiate level or in the amateur level, I would say like just refer to us as competitors or people who compete in esports.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome.
I don't want to like talk down on the casual like player base of all video games, but it's just that term gamer. If you just say someone who plays video games, that's good too.
Plays video games. Got it. Like that. Okay. Is there anything else y'all want to add about esports, esports at UST, anything like that?
We've obviously seen a lot of good success, at least on the competitive side, and what we've been able to accomplish it within a year. I mean, I think to have both our teams, first off, to have both our teams invited to what is arguably the biggest collegiate tournament that is held every fall, to get both invited within a year, I think is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you know, for our League of Legends team to win it all and beat what is arguably the best team in the country, you know, I think has put us in a really good position. And I have a lot of people come up to me and ask, hey, like, what did we do to replicate your success so quickly? You know, what have you done? You know, and what I tell them is honestly, you know, 80%, if not more, is really just because our school cares, and that they want our program to succeed, right? Like they've given me the funds to, you know, build a facility in the library. They've given me, you know, the autonomy to build the team how I want to build it. And they said, hey, you know, we'll give you the keys to the kingdom and, you know, basically go out and do what you need to do. And we'll kind of, you know, fix it as we go. And so, yeah, this is just really a big thank you to the USC staff, faculty, community for truly supporting us. I mean, even just doing this, right? You know how many schools you think actually take the time to sit down and talk to the director and one of the players and truly want to like get in their world, right? Very, very few, if any, like maybe like 5 or 10 in the whole, you know, United States. So even just this interview alone, I think says how much support this school and campus gives us. And for that, I'm truly thankful. I mean, that truly is a big part of our success.
Yeah. And just to bounce off of that, I think I do speak for the Overwatch team when I say that gratitude is like probably one of the biggest reasons why all of us are so like very level-headed and very like pretty humbled, and that we know that this is a very rare opportunity and we want to make the most out of it and we want to do good for the school and for ourselves. And just knowing that we have the support and the infrastructure to play our game and do well just means the world to all of us.
Well, thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
It was
Appreciate
great.
you having us.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys, this has been a Bold podcast. Check them out on Twitch, on Discord. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Stay bold, my friends. Bye. Bold is a podcast produced by Max Studios at University of St. Thomas in Houston. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Max Studios UST.